Okay guys, today I'm going to show you how to add the slabs onto your armature. So remember, I gave everybody one of these little armatures. Remember, you may need to tape it down a little bit more. You may need to add on to it. I'm doing a female, so she doesn't have a lot of shoulder. The neck is pretty small, so I don't really have a lot to add to mine. But you definitely could add more newspaper before you start. Okay, before you start, you should have about 3 slabs already wedged and rolled out so that you're kind of ready to go. Oh, also, I taped mine down to my board just so it's not moving around whenever I'm adding on the clay. You can try not doing that. In class, we normally don't do that, but in class, we also have a stick going through the middle, so it kind of helps to keep it up. So it might just be an easy way to make your piece a little bit easier to handle if you're having to do it by yourself. Now, if you've got someone that can kind of help you, then maybe that will be fine. All right, so I have my first slab here. Again, they're just kind of big ovals. So this is probably 8 by, maybe 5 in the middle. I'm gonna cut it right down the middle. This is fresh clay right out of the bag, so I shouldn't have to do any slipping and scoring yet. Okay, so I'm gonna put this right up against my piece. I'm going to kind of curl it around a little bit on the shoulder. So I'll do it on this side too. And I'm just really pressing it on there really well. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, but I'll probably cut off a little bit here. So I don't need all of this, so I'm going to cut that off and cut that off. Again, at this point, as long as your clay is nice and fresh, you should be able to just smooth it in without slipping and scoring. And we will be taking all of the paper out of this, so you'll be able to kind of see what it looks like inside, if it needs to be smoothed out some more. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and get another piece. I've got some little triangles right here that I'm going to try and fill in. So I'm just going to make kind of a little triangle, kind of eyeball it, make one for the other side. Okay, now I can kind of smear this in. And just make sure that you do a good job smearing it in. You might even spray this a little bit, have a little cup of water as you're working. Okay, last but not least, I'm going to add on the neck. So I'm going to do kind of a rectangle here. And again, I'm just going to kind of wrap it around, smearing it in as I go. Look at what your shoulders look like. Is one side higher than the other? Maybe you need to pat it down a little bit. Look at your picture too. What do the shoulders look like in that? Okay, one last thing is we want to kind of add a coil around the base here. It's just going to give it some extra stability. So I'm just going to take a little bit of my extra clay here, and I'm going to make a small coil, probably the size of my finger, so something like that. And I'm going to put this all the way around the edge. They tend to get kind of thin at the bottom edge. At some point we'll probably go back and cut a little excess off, but right now it's just helping our piece to kind of stick. So I'm going to put this all the way around. Then I'm going to get it nice and smooth, and I'm going to let this set for about an hour. After an hour, I can come back and I can add the slabs on the face part, or the actual head part. But right now, I just really need to let this set up, and it definitely needs some smoothing. Okay, so this is what it should look like now. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna stop the video. I'm gonna spend a little bit of time smoothing this out really well. And then I'm gonna wait an hour, and I'll come back and I'll show you how to do the face.